Let's go to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. And as I am watching Julius Mkhwanazi looking like a whale out of the ocean, he's caught. Like he is so caught that he is trying to navigate his way back into the ocean, but it's too late because he has Miss Baloy stuck right there on him and he's trying to get himself off her. But she is pressing the boot on him to tell the truth as to what happened on the night he woke up at 2 a.m., called by Yaku Honeycomb, who's, by the way, himself is no more. And then I was thinking to myself, oh my word. Oh my. So what was happening this particular night? There was some kind of an operation. And under EMPD, Julius Mkhwanazi is the head of the type of operation where a truck is hijacked or copper theft or something along those lines. He would be called, I guess he will be reported to because he's in charge of that. Whether he goes to the scene or he doesn't go to the scene, at the end of the day, that operation needs to be recorded and submitted to him. And then I guess he takes it somewhere else so that investigations can ensue. So Honeycomb allegedly used to be the EMPD informant or informer or something of that nature. And he was pretty good at it, according to Julius Mkhwanazi. And so he's asked about what was your relationship with Yaku Honeycomb and yourself. He's like, oh, Yakub and I, he was very good. He was very good at the job that he did. He used to be a businessman, but his business was struggling because of COVID. And so other units use him and other police use him because he's good at giving information. It's like listening to a 5-year-old. Because the question was simple. What was your relationship? All he had to say was, well, because he's a police informant, I worked with him. And it ends there. Whether he was good at it and what, that's not the question. The question is, what is your relationship or what was your relationship with him? And then he started spiraling out of control mentally, Julius Mkhwanazi. And I was sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, this man, he is speaking about people that are late. Marius van der Merwe, Yaku Honeycomb, and also Emmanuel Mbenze. And in my head, I'm thinking, between the three, who is fighting from beyond? And I think it's Marius. Marius is fighting from beyond for the truth to be revealed, y'all. And he is stuck. He is stuck. Now, he is... You see, guys, why it's important that whenever you worked hard, sometimes I get it. I get that you want money, you want status, you want stature as well, and you're doing a great job at work. But if you know yourself that you don't have capacity to be promoted to the next level, I think it's best that you ask your company, your firm, your department to hold that promotion for you while you go and empower yourself about what you are going to be promoted for. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, do a short course. I mean, there's so many short courses online these days, legitimate. Or you take up a course at Wits University or University of South Africa, whatever the case might be, and empower yourself so that you know when you take this position, you at least have an idea what to do, but the rest you are going to learn on the job. Because theory and practicals, they can be totally two different things. You know what I'm trying to say here? This guy, he is asked as a person that is responsible for his unit, so you wake up at 2 in the morning. First of all, why would you wake up at 2 in the morning? Because you are told that the SAPS and EMPD is on the scene. So you would say, oh, I'll see it in the morning, because the EMPD would have, number one, recorded everything that's happening on the OB books and pocket books. as well as on the scene. And then when Julius Mkhwanazi come to work in the morning, he will see a file on his desk, peruse it, and then order an investigation or whatever the case might be. But no, Julius Mkhwanazi wakes up in his pajamas and then he drives to the scene. When he gets to the scene, he sees 9 white men and 1 black guy. But he can only identify a dead man. Because, dead people cannot defend themselves, right? Or confirm anything for that matter. But he says he doesn't recognize any of these other ones. Okay, fine, you did not recognize any of those people. So where's the report? Where's the report of what you were woken up at 2 a.m. for? Because he says he was so angry that he got woken up, and yet he's done this many a times where he would be woken up at 2 in the morning. Why was he not upset all these other times, but he was upset with this particular time? He says when he gets to the scene, he realizes that the people, meaning the cops, the EMPD and South African police officers that are there, they were intending to steal. So that is why he went back to bed. And in my question, I'm thinking, but you're a police officer, aren't you? Why don't you get reinforcement or backup? Call the South African police and say, hey, I'm at this scene and I suspect that your members and my members, whom I am going to deal with tomorrow morning, they are attempting to steal a consignment of whatever it is that they were there for. But no, he turns around and goes back home to sleep. And now he's being questioned about that particular scene, Dololo. And on top of that, he is going back and forth between people that he recognizes. He denied knowing Marius van der Merwe. This is witness D. He denies it. And I'm thinking, there's no way that you would know Jaco Heinekom without knowing Marius van der Merwe. And there's also no way that you are going to identify Jacob Heinekom as well as Viandre Pretorius without knowing who Marius van der Merwe is. And you will also not say, I know who Keisha Stahl, without knowing Viandre Heinekom as well as Marius van der Merwe. There's no way. He's going around the bushes, and he deliberately did not put the names there because if you put people's names, they would be called to the commission. The commission has the obligation to call these people, understand, to verify what Julius Mkhwanazi is saying. So he decided, nah, if I mention the other men and those white men and women, I'm going down. So let me call on a dead man that I knew he's there, and this is what he said to me. Everyone else, if they did, they're going to have to be called to verify this information. How do you call a dead man from the grave? And which also brings me to, why was Jaco Heinekom unalived? Because it was unalived. And by whom? Kuningi. And so I'm going to play you a clip that Commissioner Baloyi, yeah, she's senior counsel as well. Commissioner Baloyi, they're basically pressing him. And then she tells him flat out on his face who he is on the stand right now. And to me, that was checkmate, because that has messed up with Julius Mkhwanazi's mind. He is not winning. Well, they are on a tea break and they should be back in 2 minutes. So let me wrap up this video. Here's the clip. Whew. Julius Mkhwanazi. Lies have short legs. And if you are responsible for the unaliving of these 3 people, they are fighting from beyond. So give it up. Go take the responsibility. Go to Ebongweni. Anyways, guys, here's the clip. See you later.
Only there for minutes, you see. And that means that they saw each other as per their statement, or as per witness statement, as per other people's statement. You could see there was up and down there. They were making all this up and down. I was not part of that up and down, you see. And they were there the whole night. They were there the whole night, let me say so, because I arrived in the early hours.
How do you know? You got there, you woke up at 2 to go see successes. You got there, you were less than impressed. You scolded Yako and you left. How do you know that they were there the whole night?
No, when we engaged, they said the operation started, and even, who's this guy? Now, he has mentioned times here, you see.
So
all of them, they said they started the night before.
When did you obtain that piece of information? That they started?
No, I even spoke to IPIT. That's what they told me. And Ms. Nomsa Masuku, she even mentioned that, even Makakolo mentioned that they started in the early, so not arriving the early hours. They started the day before.
Okay.
It was an all-night operation.
So you learned this in 2023 when you engaged with IPIT?
Sorry?
You learned about this in 2023 when you engaged with IPIT? You learned for the first time that it started the night before and it ran throughout the night. Do I understand you correctly?
I've said even IPIT has also mentioned that.
Oh, okay. Even. So when did you learn of that fact?
When I communicated with them on Tuesday.
Oh. So can I just...
It was on Tuesday, yes.
Yes,
Let me say for now it was on Tuesday.
When you arrive at the scene and you see the EMPD vehicles, you are the director, so you are the head of specialized services and operations. You are the most senior EMPD person on the scene, therefore. Right? You are the most senior person from EMPD because you are the director of that unit.
Yes.
You get there, you find EMPD vehicles. How do you not, how possible is it that you do not ask who is here from the EMPD when you see your vehicle on the spot? How do you not, before you leave, if we accept what you have said as truth, that you spoke to Yako, you went and parked on the side because you suspected they want to steal, and then you left, how probable is it actually that you do not ask who from EMPD is here because I see one of my vehicles?
Commissioner, I've accepted when I was asked by the chairperson that I didn't even give Yako a chance to respond to me. I wanted to deal with him.
I'm asking you a different question. You are there, you are the most senior EMPD person on that spot. You see a vehicle of EMPD. How do you not ask who is here from EMPD because I see an EMPD vehicle?
No, to be honest, Commissioner, I didn't ask. I didn't want just to be part of this because I was not...
Why did you not want to be part of this when your car is there? There's an EMPD vehicle. You are there, you were called because you are head of special operations or special services, specialized services and operations. That's why Yako called you. He didn't call you because you're his friend or
Yes,
you're
sir.
trying to make business with him.
You are correct.
He called you because of the position you hold at EMPD. You arrive at the scene, you find a lot of people, including 9 white men that you're standing next to. How do you not say, I see my vehicle, tell me people who are here, all of you who are here, tell me who from EMPD is here?
I didn't do that. I did not ask that,
No,
Commissioner.
I want to put to you
Yes.
that you're being untruthful. You knew from EMPD who is there. If you didn't ask, it's because you saw them. You knew who it was that is there, and you're being untruthful about it. And in fact, I want to go on to say, that is why in your statement, you don't mention any name whatsoever other than Yako. You say, I was standing next to 9 white men, and that's all you say. You don't mention anybody. It's because you do not, even at the point of this statement, you didn't want to be truthful about who from your people was on the scene.
Chair, Chair, I can't implicate people that I didn't see. And when I met them, after that, They were honest, they didn't hide. They told me, yes, we were there. It's those that were there. And they even said others, we don't know them. Some were wearing uniform, but we don't know because EMPT is too big. But when I met them, they didn't even hide. They said, they were honest to me. They said, yes, we're there.
So when you wrote this statement to IPID, why didn't you mention them in the statement? Now, because you called them as their boss on the Tuesday, not because they're your friends. You call them as your boss, as their boss. They tell you, according to you, for the first time, that we were at that scene, right, on the Tuesday. IPID tells you somebody died that night, where your people, you tell us, have told you on a Tuesday that they were there, the Tuesday immediately after the incident. Why don't you tell IPID who was on the scene on the day from your people, now that you know?
Okay, Commissioner, when IPID interviewed me, they said we've already interviewed your people. Tell us what happened on that night when you arrived.
Yes,
and
I'm asking my question. Why do you not mention in your statement that on Tuesday, after that night, on Tuesday, I called my team in, and Stoltz, Mkhwanazi, and whoever else tell me they were there and they say this is what happened that night. You are the boss, you're their boss.
IPID was specific, Chair. They were very specific about that night. Tell us what happened that night. And I know that the person who asked that question about that night, it was, I think, Mr. Makakoda, not Sis Nomsa.
Okay. All right. Maybe let me conclude this by saying that, Commissioner, if it's not been clear so far, I don't accept that you're telling us the truth about your involvement that night and your knowledge of who was there and what happened that night. I don't accept that what you're telling us is truth.